Hello and welcome to the first rubber ducky video. The concept is simple. I write code and as I do, I explain my thought process behind it. So, let us begin. For this video, I will be coding in Java using the NetBeans IDE. My purpose is to write the code for a mathematical matrix, which will eventually allow me to solve linear systems or perform some basic statistical operations. First thing to do here, will be to create a private variable, a double array of doubles. That's funny, which I will call values. And since I have a private variable, maybe I should write some getters and some setters. But before that, I would like to have a public constructor. So public matrix, which will take as arguments two integers, m and n, like this. And what this will do is to initialize the values variable into a new, not like that, new double of n and n size. Next thing, the getters. So public double get. So I would like to get the ith and the jth element of the matrix. So this will return values I, j. Easy enough. And then the setter, public void set, which will get the I, the j, and the new value. So v, let's call it. Values I, j equals to v. Now the thing I should note here is that I'm not checking whether I and j are within the normal size of the matrix. I'm not sure whether I should do that, but since I am only using it I'm only referencing the values matrix inside these two places, it's not a big deal to put a few more if statements here. I will decide on that later. So setters and getters are ready. Next thing to do is I would like to get the size of the matrix. So public int to get the rows, get m, which will return the values dot length, and public int get n, which will return the columns, return values of the first row dot length. Easy enough. What I should do next is that I would like a few static methods to return me some more intricate matrices, some initial value with already initial values. So a matrix with zeros, a matrix with ones, and a matrix with a unit matrix with ones in the prime diagonal. So let's do that. Public static zeros, public static matrix zeros, and here we will get the size of the matrix that we want. Matrix x, or ret for return, or we'll call it res for result, equals new matrix m by n. And since all the values are initialized in 0, I just need to return the result. Easy enough. Next thing to do, public static matrix ones. Now this will be a little more intricate because I will have to set its value to 1, and m int n. What I will do here is I will just copy and paste this part because I'm too lazy to write it down, and in the results I will in order to set its element into 1, I will create and will use a for loop, actually a nested for loop. So while I is less than res.getM, I plus plus for int j equals 0, equals 0, j less than res.getN, j plus plus. And here I will set the I j to the value 1. This is a 1. It looks like an L. This is a 1, this is an L. Wow, they look quite similar. Now, I will create an I matrix. And since I'm lazy, I'm gonna copy the entire thing like this. And the I matrix should be a rectangular matrix, but maybe I could make it a bit more general, non-rectangular, for non-rectangular matrices. So in that case, I would create a new matrix with m and n, m rows and n columns, but I will just take the minimum value of m and n, which would be what would be, I will call it b, which is equal to m. No, I will, if m less than n, then d equals m, the minimum, else d equals n. I like this way. I like it this way much more. It's much more readable than if I would write it with and the other ugly operator. This one, I don't recall the name of it, which goes something like this: m less than n. If this expression is true, give it m, or else n. I do think that this is meh. It doesn't make much sense, or doesn't make it a lot of much readable, my code. Anyway, since now I have the d variable, the minimum of the two values of the two sides of the matrix, what I will do is to have only one for loop from 0 to the minimum, and I equals 1. It will begin from 0. Every other value will be 0, as is the default value. And now, why is it not properly indented? Anyway, I will fix. Maybe a doctor should see my OCD. Why is it so bad? Yeah. So pardon this little pause. And here the result is a matrix. What's wrong here? Oh, once. I should call it I, not once. The next thing I would like to do is the following: public void show. I would like to show my matrix and print it in the console, just for simplicity's sake, so I can see how this thing works. So what I do is, having a nested again a nested for loop. I think I'll keep this thing in my clipboard. I will use it a lot. this double for loop. I will open a bracket here, and this is not res.getM, this is this.getM and n. And I will do the following. I will system out printf percent f \t for the new column, and then this dot get ij. And the reason I open the bracket is so that I can open a new system out printf line command, sorry, \n. Let me erase this also. And that f, maybe I should just give it 2 decimal points, not all the decimals of the double type. So public static void main, this will be the main entry point for our class, and the arguments. So let's make a new matrix. X equals matrix dot I 3 by 2. Let's see if I made it work right. Show. And in order to run it, run file, not run project, run file, shift F6. Let me run it and see how that goes. Well, something went bad. Set array index out of bounds exception in 2. So 3, 2. Well, I think it should work for 3.3, right? Shift and F6, it works fine, but it doesn't work because they are different. So something went terribly wrong in this part. I do think that that's -1 because it does one more, yeah. So when I create a 3 by 3 matrix, the maximum value, but that's not an equal. Let's see if that works. No, it doesn't. Now remember the time that I said that I should look for the setters and getters, the arguments being at the right range, but I think that these exceptions are good enough. Let me think. Oh, I of course, the D, I used M instead of D. Oh my, what a stupid thing to do. Yep, it works. And 3.2, does it work? Right. And 3.20? Of course it does. So I think we could move on and do some basic operations with it. I will begin by doing the addition. Public matrix add another matrix. Which I will call that. The first thing to do is copy this part of this piece of code and create a new matrix, which will be the result, and the result will be this.getM this dot get n. I do think that in this case I should probably check the sizes of this and that maybe later. So this dot get m and this dot get n, which the result will be, oh no, this res dot get m and res dot get n. This dot get ij plus that dot get ij. So this is the sum of the two matrices for each element. This should work fine. The next thing to do, instead of other than addition, is multiplication. Multiply, but I will multiply first with a double. I will call it v, where the result is the element, each element of the original matrix times the value given. Now let's get to the actual difficult part, the matrix multiplication. If I want to multiply two matrices, I should make sure that I check the sizes. So if this dot get n is different than that dot get m, then return null. I'm pretty sure that I should return an exception. I should throw an exception for it. So yeah, throw new exception, matrix size mismatch. Must be declared to be thrown. That's the bad thing about exception. They must be declared. Oh, that's a bad thing. I don't want to report a throw. Anyway, I will look into it. And come back at another time. To do, fix this. A new matrix. The result will be a new matrix with the m of the one matrix and the n of the other. Now, for each element on the result matrix, this will be tough. For I should set this element. I think I should put brackets in here, because I will have one more for loop. For int k equals 0, let's use the limit here. So int d equals this dot get n, which will be k less than n and k plus plus, not n but d, the limit. And I should also declare a new double, which is the sum, which initial value is 0, and this is the sum that will be set into the element. and here will be the sum plus equals this dot get I dot k times that dot get j comma j. I'm not entirely sure that this is the correct one, but I could try this out. It should be the right thing to do. The main function should probably put it way back down here so I don't confuse it and mess things up. So an I matrix, let's try a ones matrix, which is like a 3x3 ones matrix, and let's create another matrix named Y, which is an I matrix. Let's try this out just for trying it out. So x times x dot multiply with y, and the resulting matrix, I want to see it. What would happen? Exactly what we expected. That's a good thing. What if we multiply two ones together? That's a 3. That's right. And let's try if we multiply, if this is an I matrix, dot multiply by 3. No, by 5. What would happen then? That's, I'm pretty sure that's correct. Let's see if the size of the matrices add up, like 5 and 5 here, and this, let's say it should be 7. So it's a 3x7. Is this correct? I can't remember. Anyway, that's all for now. I think that should be enough for the first video. In the next video, I will do some basic statistical functions like the average, the standard deviation, maximum, minimum. What else? Oh, I haven't wrote a function to transpose a matrix, and we'll start trying to solve linear systems. That's all for now. Thanks for sticking with me, and have a good one.